Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes podcast. I'm Bert Lepore. He's Damian Monte Carlo. We're hanging here with Angry Mike D, and we talk about music, movies, and so much more.
All right, we're back in another episode of Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes, episode 103. Today, we're going to go over some, I guess, like horror-themed bands, I guess, and the Fearsome Five, as we call them, and we came up with 5 like Halloween type bands, and we got came up with like a mixtape playlist, essential songs, 10 songs from each band. We got Alice Cooper, Ghost, the Misfits, Typo Negative, and Rob Zombie, White Zombie, and we have 10 songs from each. From the list that we came up with, and we'll just go over it, discuss everything, and since it's Halloween season and it's somewhat appropriate. So
our buddy Chris wrote to us. One of our friends and listeners wrote into us and came up with a drinking game. Damo, do you know the drinking game?
Yeah, he was telling me about it several weeks ago. I'm trying to pull it up here on my phone. He says, yeah, I came up with a drinking game, and automatically I kind of knew of certain things that we say that were kind of like repetitive, that we say like every week all the time. So I guess he watches every episode. He watches episodes every week, so he picked up on these things. So I'll go over some of these called
You're gonna read the rules of the game?
Yeah, I'm going to read them off, and I think it's kind of funny. The Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes podcast drinking game. Number 1, drink some beer every time Angry Mike D hits his vape.
I think that's about 3 right now. 3.
Yeah. Number 2, drink nothing for 5 minutes other than water anytime the band Kiss is mentioned.
A lot of water.
Number 3, drink some beer anytime anyone says, I don't know. Number 4, take a shot anytime an animal walks in or out of the camera. Wait, anytime. Okay. I see the dog right behind Mike right now. So
that's the one that's going to get you.
Yeah. Take a shot anytime there's an animal in Mike's camera there in his shot. Number 5.
They're not even mine.
Right. Finish your beer anytime all members of the podcast laugh out loud together. Number 6, drink half your beer anytime the words "views are viewed" are said by me.
Damien.
I'm usually good for saying, oh yeah, it's got it's got 100,000 views on YouTube, or the Spotify stream is up to 100,000 or whatever. Number 7, whenever Bert leads into an opinion with, for me, yeah, I don't know. For me, it's wasn't really too crazy about it. Number 8, take a shot anytime Angry Mike D says, I don't like it. It's not for me. Or I hated it, but it grew on me. Number 9, anytime Damo, what you got is said, take a shot and chase it with a beer.
That's a lot.
Number 10, if you make it to the end and you're not sauced, chug a beer and take a shot while thinking about your substantial drinking problem.
There you go. So there are rules. I'll paste the rules up here. I'll post it. And if you want to play along with Chris.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll start off with Damo. What you got?
What you got? All right. I'll start out with the 10 Alice Cooper picks.
Okay.
But the ones that I chose, I mean, I think maybe we all took a different approach to this, but I tried to look at it as if someone said, hey, I never really got into Alice Cooper. What would you recommend? So songs that I chose, I kind of came in with that mindset. So these are in no particular order, not like one is the best and two, like that.
Yeah,
so just 10.
just
So welcome to my nightmare. Dead babies go to hell. $4 billion babies. 5 only women bleed. 6 poison. 7 schools out. 8 18. 9 under my wheels, and 10 no more Mr. Nice Guy. And yeah, I mean, there's so many more you can choose from.
You
I
can
think
make a
that's
fucking 4-hour mix.
yeah, that's a really good start. And look, if you're not into Alice Cooper out of those songs, if you're not into them, then as Bert would say, it's not for me.
That's right.
It's not for you.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I mean, the picks we picked I thought were pretty good. We hit a little of each mark. I mean, I would have put some of the newer stuff on there also, but you only get 10 songs, so that gets a little rough. Yeah, I mean, you got to put Welcome to My Nightmare on there, right? I mean, you have to.
Yeah. Actually, it's not one of my favorites, but
Me
yeah,
neither.
you do have to put that
But it
on
needs to be
there.
on the list.
Yeah.
You know what song I'm not? I think it's a good song, but it probably wouldn't have made my list. Was Only Women Bleed. That wouldn't have made my list.
Yeah, I didn't wasn't crazy about that.
Yeah.
Either,
How about you, Mike D? But this
Well, I guess I'm the one that put it on there.
Yeah. But that's an essential song, though. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, looking at this list, my favorite song off this list is probably Dead Babies and Poison are probably my 2 favorite off that list. Like Dead Babies, great song.
So,
Yeah.
like back in the day, like was he like what Manson was like in our day? Like the parents crying about.
Yeah, remember all? Oh yeah, absolutely. My mom was a big Alice Cooper fan, and she used to, tell me all about it. Plus, the things that I've read and the documentaries and stuff. Yeah, like early 70s, 70, 71, 72, 73. That was like as shock as you could get,
Oh yeah,
that
absolutely.
he was doing.
Well, my cousin told me this story once. He was like, he saw him on some kind of college campus, and he had this thing. I guess in one of his songs, he used to hang himself,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess of course, he had it rigged up to where it wasn't really hanging him.
Yeah,
But I guess he let it go a little bit longer than usual, and either that or the theatrics of it, the security started coming out like something was actually wrong, and the crowd started getting up, the lights went on, and right before everybody started to panic, that's when he came to.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you look at it, this guy's still putting stuff out, and it's still, the quality's still there. The quality's still there. The guy's still putting out stuff.
He's like 70, I don't know, 73, 74, and he's still out there touring every year, still puts out albums. He's still creative. He's still relevant, and the thing with him, even when he was young, he always looked old. So now that he's old, it's like almost like he never changed. And Michelle just made an appearance.
Michelle just walked through my door.
That should be a drinking rule.
Yeah.
Every time Michelle's wearing the Jungle Jane outfit.
I'm surprised she's still up at this time.
Yeah, she had to go to her friend's house. But yeah, it's late hours.
We're talking about you, Michelle.
It's late hours for her. But yeah, I mean, looking at she's a ball breaker. Yeah, looking at the list though, I mean, it's definitely a pretty decent list. I mean, you can make, I think for my personal Alice Cooper playlist, and I kind of give it time limits and stuff, I think I got like 2-hour mixes, from like half.
Yeah.
It's just so many songs. I mean,
I Love the Dead is another one, man. I love that song.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Elected is a great one. $1 Billion Babies is probably my favorite record.
That's yeah. I was just going to ask you
everything about it.
What's your go-to record?
Packaging. Yeah, the $1 Billion Babies is definitely my
me too.
Record.
Me too.
I would say that. I got to go back and listen to more of his older stuff though.
It's good. Something's quirky.
Mike, you would probably like his first 2 records. It seems like it'll be up your alley. It's it was very. I think Frank Zappa produced the 2 records, so
oh wow,
it's not it's kind of before he got his identity.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And they're pretty weird. I mean, and then
I'll
like
have to
the
check
third
it
album.
out.
Yeah, it's check out the first two records. I think they came out in like
What's the first one? Is it pretty
Pretty's
something
for You?
Pretty's for You, yeah.
Yeah. And Zappa did the first two, and then after that they had Bob Ezrin, and that kind of
well, that's when stuff got real good, for me, and then what they do, how many records did they do with the Alice Cooper band? Maybe 2, 3?
The original band? Nah, they
4, maybe 4.
Well, no, you got the first two, and then maybe I don't know, maybe 6, a half a dozen records they did, I think.
Well, once like Welcome to My Nightmare was when it was just him, right?
That was his first, solo album. But I'm actually kind of curious right now. I'm just looking this up real quick. Pretty's for You, Easy Action was the second album. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 7 albums.
Really? That many?
Yeah. Pretty's for You, Easy Action. They're the first two that are a little out there. Then Love It to Death, Killer, School's Out, $1 Billion Babies, and Muscle of Love. So that band only lasted 69 to 73. It's
a lot of stuff.
That's really.
7 albums in 4 years.
Yeah.
That's
So. If you look at it like School's Out is a huge record. The song's great, but I think the record as a whole, the record is very quirky to me.
Yeah.
Like that's one of my least favorite records from him as a whole. It's kind of quirky to me. It's got some weird shit in there. But
I'm not even a huge fan of that song though. I mean, I know you got put on there, but
it's kind of like a little overplayed. I mean, I like 18 a little bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like a fun song though. I mean, being a kid, even Donna being a teacher, all our students, they're like 9, 10 years old.
All right, so I got an idea here. So we don't breeze through everything too quick. Let's each take one song from each one of these lists, and talk about one song after we bullshit like we are. Talk about one song out of this whole playlist. Dame, pick a song you want to talk about.
What, the Alice Cooper one?
Yes.
And
why you like it? You know what I mean?
Well, I'll pick Poison because for me, that was like the gateway song, I thought.
Yeah.
From when I was growing up, I grew up around that time, late 80s, watching MTV, and that song, Poison, that was like his comeback song, and it was a huge hit. And I've always heard of Alice Cooper, but I didn't know anything he did. So that song was like my introduction, and then I kind of went backwards.
Okay, how about you, Mike D?
I mean, if you want to go introduction, is that what you're
no?
Looking
Just
for,
just pick one that stands out to you a lot.
Me, I mean, it's probably Twisted, but I'd probably say Dead Babies probably stands out.
It's great.
It's just a twisted ass track.
Yeah, that's a great song. For me, it's definitely tough. I'm gonna say 18, and I'll tell you why. Because the first video I ever seen from him was that 18 video, and that was it was very psychedelic
with the green screen stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty weird. MTV used to play it all the time.
Yeah.
So and it's a very angst song. It's got a nice little melody in the beginning, and then it gets kind of angry. So 18 would probably be my main go-to on the list. All right, Damo, let's move it on to Ghost. Let's talk about Ghost for a little bit. You want to read off what's on the tracks?
Yeah, I'll read them off. We got Rats 1. Number 2 is, how do you pronounce that?
I call it Cerise, but I don't know.
Cerise,
maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know how to pronounce it either.
2 or 3, From the Pinnacle to the Pit. Number 4, Square Hammer. 5,
Gigolo
Gidoo.
The Gigolo song.
6, Year Zero. 7, Dance Macabre. 8, Spillways. 9, Call Me Sunshine, Call Me Little Sunshine, and 10, Ritual.
Yep.
Bert, what you got?
For me, I mean, Ghost was one of those bands that I got into because of James Hetfield was wearing a Ghost shirt, and I'm like, who the hell is this Ghost band? So I put something like an MP3 on, and I'm like, wow, this is good. This sounds like Merciful Fate to me. I'm like, it sounds like Merciful Fate without the high, screamy voice, and I was like, wow, this is pretty good. So the art, of course, I loved. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. And then the lyrics, that it was so melodic and poppy, and what they were singing about was so different from what the music was. Maybe not in the beginning. Maybe the first record was a little towards that. But like I loved it, and I've been a Ghost fan ever since. So I pretty much anything they put out, I'll grab. And yeah, for me, it's just like they get more and more melodic as it goes on, but I still like the old stuff also, and the stuff in between I think probably the best. But yeah, I mean, Rats is a fucking awesome song. Sounds like a throwback song almost. Or it could be a Scorpion song, you know. From the Pinnacle to the Pits, nice and heavy. So I really dig that. But for me, it's like I'm probably gonna go with Square Hammer, man. Just that riff in the beginning. So Square Hammer will probably be my favorite off the Ghost track list, and that's the one I would probably go to. What you got, Damo?
Yeah, I kind of got into them a little more recently. I remember when they came out, you know, like around 12 years ago, a lot of people were talking about them. There was a huge buzz, which you know, you don't really see that often. And it was really weird because a lot of my friends who I wouldn't think would be into that kind of music were really, really into them. And I remember they played the Troc, and that show was sold out. And you know, they come around, it was always like sold out, and they're getting played in bigger venues. And then yeah, I got like the first couple records, I really didn't get it. And after I heard like Rats and Square Hammer and stuff like that, then you know, I really started to enjoy them. And then I got to see them live about 5 years ago, and then it was just like I saw them live for the second time. The first time I saw them, I still didn't do anything for me. The second time I saw them 5 years ago, then I was like, damn, man, these fucking songs are great, and it's a great show, and it's you know, they don't really take themselves too seriously.
Right.
They look great. You know, the imagery is like, you know, it's like everything you want. You know, it's like, you know, if you remember, like a lot of the bands that had like a cool like horror look, like look when Motley Crue came out, the first couple of albums, they looked fucking awesome, and then they just kind of dropped it. And it seemed like a lot of those bands did that, like first 2-3 records, and then they sort of like slowly kind of like become more like friendly looking, you know. And Ghost, they always change the image up, but they still kind of look, you know, spooky, you know. It's so kind of like a creepy look. So, and they've been consistent with that for the past, you know, 12 years now or so. But yeah, the last album that came out, when did it come out? Earlier this year, I think.
Yeah, around March, baby.
Man, probably easily in my top 5 favorite records that came out like the past year. I mean, every song is good. But my standout track is Year Zero.
Oh, it's intense.
Creepy, that song.
It's intense.
Creepy. It reminds me of like some satanic march or something.
Yeah.
I could just picture like hell and all these people, everybody, all the demons in hell singing this song, you know, as they're marching to work or some shit, or
as they're marching to work.
I don't know what the hell they do that. They're sacrificing somebody or something. It's just,
as they're marching to work,
you know, all the Latin and everything, and the chanting and everything. It's, you know,
that's an intense song. It's very intense.
Yeah.
Mike D, Ghost. What you got?
It's a little rough for me because I don't want to say I'm new to them, but I've listened to them with Albert for so long, and I'm like, they're really good. But when I started listening to them more this week, I'm like, wow, I just definitely have to go through their stuff. Not only just listen to it, but probably just pick it up on vinyl.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm with you, Bert. I'm with the Square Hammer.
Such a good
just
song.
that, yeah.
It's such a good
but it's tough because that was even tough doing 5 songs. I could have probably won all day.
Yeah, there's not many songs that are skipped from them.
But
It's
to me,
pretty
it
damn
was more
good.
like the standout album, and I don't even know how to say it. It was probably, was it Infestium? That's as
Yeah,
close
I
as I
don't know
can
what to say
probably
either.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's the one that had Year Zero on it, and
yeah, that album
it was
definitely
bad.
What's
stood
that? The
out to me.
second, third album?
The second, not counting the EPs and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the second record.
Right.
Yeah, I mean they're all good. I could barely pronounce all the records, so they're
Yeah.
all
Well, it's all in like weird Latin and shit.
yeah. But yeah. So Ghost is definitely one of my favorite bands right now. If something comes out on vinyl, I grab it immediately, and all that
Yeah.
stuff goes up, man. All the Ghost stuff. The new one hasn't yet because they probably press so many of them, but all the Ghost stuff usually, it goes up quick. It goes up real quick.
Yeah, and they're they're a band that it's you could invest your time and money into it because you're always going to get a quality product.
Oh yeah, like
But,
their packaging's good. All
yeah,
their
like
all their
a
stuff's good.
lot of bands like they'll put out stuff and it's like if it's like it's like half-assed. It's
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend $30-$40 for a vinyl record, or, if they're not like really invested in it. But these guys, you're going to get quality. The
Artwork.
packaging's going to look great. The music is going to be great. You're going to get something great.
Yep, I agree. All right, let's move on. How about the Misfits? Let's get the 10 songs we got on our playlist for the Misfits.
All right, the Misfits. We have Where Eagles Dare, Die, 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 My Darling, Last Caress, 4 Hybrid Moments, 5 She, 6 138, 7 Hollywood Babylon, 8 Bullet, 9 Skulls, 10 Dig Up Her Bones. That's a good one.
Love that one.
That Dig Up Her Bones is with Michael Graves.
Yes.
That was actually a good album, I thought.
Yep. Let's go to Mike. Mike, a little bit on the Misfits, Mike, and what's your standout on that 10 song list?
I got into them way late, so I missed all the hoopla when they came out and everything, and I ended up just picking up the box set like right away because I thought it was just a cool piece to have anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, great, but the box set I thought was a little lacking. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I didn't like the box. It was too much of the same shit.
Right? They're like a minute, 2 minute songs, and it's like there's like 10 different versions. It seems of some of them. And I ended up hating like songs like Where Eagles Dare, even though I love it.
Right.
But
yeah, that's probably the wrong thing to buy.
Right, absolutely.
Collection's pretty good.
Collection 1 and 2. You get collection 1 and 2. That's most of the stuff that you really need. Bless you, man.
Nice.
Yeah, collection 1 and 2, Mike, is probably the best thing to go with.
Probably would be a Die, 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 My Darling, or just Die, Die, My. 3 dies or 2 dies?
Die, 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 My Darling. There's a lot of them in there.
Well, whatever. Die, 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 My Darling. That's how you wrote it.
Yep. Damo, Misfits.
Well, it's funny because I think it was like 3 years ago to the day was when I saw the Misfits last at Madison Square Garden, and dude, easily one of my top 5 favorite concerts that I've ever been to. It was such great, fun, high energy show. Rancid and the Damned opened up. Madison Square Garden was sold out, which is crazy. Incredible for a band like the Misfits. It's a fucking punk band that probably back in the early 80s, when they're late 70s, early 80s, they probably played like basements and little shitty bars in front of like 30 people or something. Now they're playing, they're playing everywhere they play. It's like arenas now and headline festivals. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. But man, what a great fun show. And they played in my memories. I said, at this, I remember like it came up in my Facebook memory, some post I put at the time when I was at the concert, like, at this rate, the Misfits are going to play 117 songs, in like 40 minutes. Like every song was like 2 minutes long, super fast. Danzig was definitely having a good time up there.
Yeah,
you saw him with a smile on his face, which is kind of rare, out of character. But yeah, man, it's like I really gotten into them a lot, like the past 10 years, and they got a lot of great songs. They kind of remind me of the Ramones a bit. Just where the songs are they're fast, they're melodic, a lot of energy, uh something for everybody in there, and they have like that iconic image of the Crimson Ghost. But as far as like standout track for me, I really like Bullet.
Yeah, that's a good one. Rod, Johnny,
that's
Rod.
a great. Yeah, I mean Hollywood Babylon. Geez, man, it's so hard to pick.
There's a lot of good ones.
Track, man. But actually, the first time I ever heard a Misfits song was from you. Because you guys used to cover Skulls.
Yeah, I love that song. Bring it back.
Yeah, probably that and Metallica. It was like when I first heard the Misfits.
Yeah, Skulls is a great song. Man, I love the Misfits. I love Danzig. I love almost everything he does. The Sam stuff, I like, really one album. November Coming Fire was probably the one I like from Sam Hain. But all the Misfits stuff, even the stuff with Michael Graves, is great, man. I mean, it's just as good. It really is.
Yeah, it is good.
I mean, Dig Up Her Bones, what a great song that is. That whole record's really good.
Yeah.
The Die My Darling's Last Caress, I heard him so many times before, I guess from Metallica and all that. So I wouldn't put that as like my favorite on the list. I'm going to probably go with Hybrid Moments, just because how it's sung and it's got that weird note, and it's so cool. It just comes out of the melodies are just so good. So Hybrid Moments is probably one of my favorites from them. But I mean, We Are 138 is great, and Bullet, Skulls. I mean, you can't go wrong. We probably could have put another 40 songs up there, and it would still been half an hour.
I mean, hey, we could have put Halloween up there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, love the Misfits, man. All right, Damo, we're going to move on to one of my favorite bands right now, Typo Negative, Dame. Let's hear that list.
Typo Negative. Number 1, we got Christian Woman. 2, Black Number 1. 3, My Girlfriend's Girlfriend. 4, Love You to Death. 5, I Don't Want to Be Me. 6, We Hate Everyone. 7, Red Water. 8, Be My Druidess. 9, Bloody Kisses. 10, I Know You're Fucking Someone Else.
Damo, we'll start with you.
I got into them, I guess when Bloody Kisses came out, which was that's their second album, right? Third.
Yeah.
Third album that was?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I guess that was sort of like their breakthrough album. But I remember in high school, a buddy of mine, he was like, "Oh man, you gotta check out this band. The singer sounds like Count Dracula. It's like metal with Count Dracula singing. It's called Typo Negative." And I turned on Headbangers Ball that weekend, and they played the video for Christian Woman, I think it was.
Yeah, great.
I was like, God damn, man, these guys are cool. And I bought the tape, and I mean that album is really good. And then I got October Rust, and then I kind of fell off, and the first time I listened to him again was this week when I was reviewing everything. If I had to pick a song, probably Black Number 1. And I like that whole middle section and everything
with the snaps and
it's it gets a little weird and stuff, but yeah, cool sound, and conjures up like cool images when you listen to it and everything.
Yep.
Definitely like Halloween themed shit.
Mike D, Typo Negative.
Yeah, I got into them late. I knew about them forever. Back in the day, they used to play the Black Number 1 at the goth club, and that was like a huge
Mike was
hit of it. But no, I wasn't like vampired out or anything. No. But I'm who I am now. So
Vampy Mike D.
Nah, couldn't. I just couldn't. But
Glad.
that
But
was
he had a friend who believed they were vampires.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He claims he's a vampire. Who knows?
Damien's a vampire. He don't age.
Right?
Yeah.
But got to go with Black Number One, man. That's just such a great track.
Yeah. That's the ultimate stripper song. Black Number One.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? You ever go, not that I go to many of them, but you ever go to a strip club and you figure they're all danced out and they always play rock at a strip club. It's crazy. You always hear rock music.
I bet you it's different now.
No.
Really?
I mean, they might be raising the roof here and there with some stuff, but it's usually, it's usually rock music. Black Number One. When I used to go when I was younger to strip club here and there, that was the song. Tell the DJ, Black Number One. that was the move. But yeah, Typo Negative, man. I just love them. I love them so much. Dame, I think you're froze. There you go. Typo Negative, love them so much. It's the image, it's the voice. It's also that they're kind of silly too. Everything's kind of dark and dab and depressing, but they kind of poke fun at each other too. So it's kind of funny too. Like they actually have a sense of humor.
Right.
But Black
Kinda like
Number
Ghost.
One. Yeah, kind of like Ghost, yeah.
You know?
Black Number One is probably one of my favorites, but Christian Woman, seeing that video for the first time, hearing the voice in the beginning, a dying Godman, fucking great.
Yeah.
That gets you, and that's probably the first song that I heard from them was probably Christian Woman. I knew Pete Steele was in Carnivore, but I never really listened to Carnivore. It was Jack Daniels and Pizza. All my friends listened to it, but I didn't really get into it. But once he turned into Typo Negative, I was like, wow. And it took probably Bloody Kisses was probably my first record from them, and then I went back, and then I got the Slow, Deep, and Hard, Origin of the Feces, which is, I like that record because it starts out like a live record, even though it's not. And he's like, hey, yo, sound man. And he's hollering at the crowd saying, you suck, you suck. And he's like, you paid, $15 American to see me. Who sucks now? It's fucking awesome. It's so good. The first record or two, I mean, there's a lot of droney stuff. Long songs, but once you hit Bloody Kisses and October Rust, that's the meat right there. You're looking for two Typo Negative records, Bloody Kisses, October Rust. They're really the two because they're just as good, man. I mean, they're pretty just as good as each other. October Rust has Be My Druidess, which is a great song. Love You to Death, great song. My Girlfriend's on it. That's a great song. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, perfect Halloween music. And they're getting ready to release Dead Again's finally coming out on vinyl. That's coming out at the end of November from Typo Negative. It was the last record they put out with Pete Steele. And that was a real good record. A good mix of goth, punk, and metal, maybe, and maybe a slab of industrial somewhere in there, But it's
got its own thing going on, man. Definitely got its own thing.
And the only band I hear out there that's kind of like them a little bit, but not as heavy for me, is probably the 69 Eyes band. They kind of remind me a little bit of Typo. All right, guys, the last one on our list, Rob Zombie, White Zombie. Pretty much the same thing. It's all Rob Zombie's fucking brain. So here we go. Damo, what you got on that list for Zombie?
For Zombie, number 1, Thunder Kiss 65. 2, More Human Than a Human. 3, Supercharger Heaven. 4, Electric Head Part 2. 5, Dragula. 6, Super Beast. 7, Living Dead Girl. 8, Feel So Numb. 9, Let It All Bleed Out. 10, Never Gonna Stop. Damn, my essential pick isn't even on here.
What was your essential?
Black Sunshine.
Oh, that's close. That should make the list. That should have made the list, probably.
Yeah. How the hell did some of these Never Gonna Stop? I never even heard that song.
Oh, never gonna stop. Never gonna stop.
Let It All Bleed Out.
I don't know that.
Let It All Bleed Out's a great song.
Yeah.
Well,
my essential song is Black Sunshine.
It should have made the list. I guess what? It must have been overseen because it should have made the list.
Yeah, well, I like that record, man. That's so much. La Sexorcisto Devil Music Volume 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like a Sonic version of like a B movie.
Yeah.
You know, everything about it. Super campy, all the shit going on in between and during the songs, all the weird sound effects and the talking and stuff, and which you hear a lot in Black Sunshine and Thunder Kiss 65 and stuff. After that, they kind of lost it a little bit. The Dragula record seemed to kind of be a little bit more like that record, but more metal sounding, like as far as like guitar tone. So I do like that one a lot, like Super Beast, man. I love that song. Tommy Lee actually plays on a couple of tracks. I think that might be one of them. Dragula is cool, man. As played out as it is, I still like it every time I hear it. Good. Talk about a stripper song. I mean, that one.
Yeah. I got to sing. I got a copy of it. I did. I'll send it to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the ones I'll send it to you. I was going to send it. I got a bunch of different stuff. I was going to send it just to let you hear how good or bad it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike D, what you got on Zombie?
I'm probably going to go with Thunder Kiss, man. That's just the first thing I ever heard of him. But I don't know. I'm not feeling Rob Zombie too much right now after the Monsters.
Bob?
Any fair?
Bob
fair.
Huh? I know I said Rob.
Or Bob.
Yeah, Bobby Zombie.
Bobby Zombie.
Bobby.
You know my good friend.
Zombie.
Bobby Zombs. That's funny.
What do you mean it's not fair?
You can't judge him by the movie.
I just said I'm not feeling him right now.
He put a bad taste in his mouth.
It
really had a terrible effect on Mike.
It affected his ears.
He's traumatized by everything Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so many good songs and inventive, you know. So it's like you didn't hear too many bands put all them samples in heavy music until really them, you know. At least I mean, they were sure there was bands before them.
Like so many industrial stuff.
Yeah, probably KMFDM and all that stuff. But they were in the forefront. You know what I mean? Everybody knows who White Zombie was.
But in like a hard rock metal
world,
nobody was really doing it.
Nobody was doing that. So I mean, I got to go with Thunder Kiss 65 just because it's one of the greatest friggin' riffs ever. I mean, come on, you hear that riff and you're pumped as soon as you hear it. Reminds me ECW wrestling, and that's another thing with that. So Thunder Kiss is probably one of my favorite all-time pump-up songs. You know, More Human Than Human I thought was great. Dragula is awesome. Black Sunshine, my mistake probably. It should be on that list. So I don't know. I say we cross out Super Beast. How about that? We put in Black Sunshine. Damien's not going for that. All right, we're just going to add an extra one. We'll just add it in there.
I would take out Never Gonna Stop.
There you go.
All right, we'll take Never Gonna Stop's out.
Yeah, let's take out that because I didn't even like the way you sang it.
I do like that song too. Never Gonna Stop. I kind of forgot about that.
He said he didn't like the way I just sang it.
You sang it, yeah.
You didn't do nothing for the song. I never heard it before, so
it was a bad sell.
Bad sell.
Mike, that was pretty fucking funny. You are funny once in a while. That was good.
Once in a while. I save it up.
Oh my God. All right, guys. Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes. See you next week.